Chaim. We know in Shulchan Aruch is brought that the Yortzeit is Yom Shemeisbo is Yortzeit is a fast day. But by Chassidim, by all Chassidim, it's a day that you make l'chaim, and there's a thing called tikkun. Right. Tikkun really is this is something that the person brings to Beis Medrash, Mezonos, Chom, l'chaim. Yidden should make a bracha, should be besimcha. Wow. So, there's a beautiful mashal that the Rebbe gives na Yom Yom, but there's also not such a known mashal that the Rebbe gives in a sikha. The Rebbe says you have you have a relationship. For example, a person could be very connected to their dog. So the dog, even though usually it should be two human beings, but you see today goyim, it's a little easier. A dog is easier than a child. Exactly.
The word doesn't say no.
Exactly. So
But they give more love to the dog than to a child.
So you can have such a thing, but you can't have a shaykhs that a human being, that a rock is serving a human being. A human being can use a rock,
Right.
but he can't have a relationship with a rock. Let's slide today. So the thing is that it's ein aroich. For a human being to have the ability to be a Eved Hashem is an unbelievable thing. If a Yid thinks about it, that he has the opportunity to serve Hashem, it's an unbelievable thing. So therefore, a Yid has to always be b'simcha. And even avodas hatshuva has to be b'simcha. We just did Tanya on Thursday night. We were doing it for a long time. The Alter Rebbe, even though the Alter Rebbe's tshuva is very strong, the Alter Rebbe has to do with medidus, but the Alter Rebbe says that it has to be with simcha. Not that it talks about the contradiction. How can you have medidus at the same time? Some people can't have it at the same time. But right afterwards, a person has to have Tashmini Sosam V'Simcha. We say Shema by night, Kapitel Monal of Tashmini Sosam V'Simcha. And he has to have Amuna, that if he does tshuva, the Eibush accepts the tshuva, and he really, and so a person must have Simcha. So therefore, by Chassidim, there is a yahrzeit, there's Mrs. Tzadikim Mechaperes. So it has to do with tshuva. So therefore, by Chassidim, it's a day that Mishtal Tikkun, it's a day of Simcha. The Rebbe always used to talk about there's a famous yeshiva in Yerushalayim that's for a few hundred years. The yeshiva is base scale. Different minhagim, and one of the things is they start tachonas for the avodah of Rosh Hashanah from Chof. Most people start from Chodesh Elul, Rosh Chodesh Elul, because for the last 40 days it starts. The tour brings the last 40 days. And we're learning now in Chumash. The last 40 days starts from Rosh Chodesh Elul. However,
We did a Tarat Nedarim, let's Motzei Shabbat.
So there are Mekubalim that start already. They start already, and Befrat from Chof. And they start already at that time saying to each other brachas for the new year. Ksivach Samatova. Again, even the Shulchan Aruch brings that the minhag that you write a letter to a chaver, start saying Ksivach Samatova from Rosh Chodesh Elul. But they would start from Chof. Why? Because they said it's Arba'im Yom Kodim Yetziras Havlad, and there's an unbelievable new Amshocha that happens every Rosh Hashanah. The Alter Rebbe says in Tanya that it says Ein Hashem Elokecha B'Mereish Hashanah B'Ad Achir Hashanah. It's not Stam Tomid. The Alter Rebbe says Mereish Hashanah B'Ad Achir Hashanah because every year there's a new Amshocha that was it's bigger than the year before. So therefore, the Mekubalim had a minhag that Abom Yom Koydem Yitziras Havlad 40 days before we're going to have this beautiful Gilu to start getting ready from it. So definitely that has to be with Simcha.
Wow.
So L'chaim. First of all, that we should experience Simcha every day. That Simcha to be a Yid, Simcha Shel Mitzvah. Definitely that there's many levels in Simcha. Chazal say some for the base of Sheva that not everyone had experience the same simcha. But definitely tshuva is associated with that, even though tshuva is lachoida a very strong thing, but the tshuva is associated with a tremendous amount of simcha. And we see from the Alter Rebbe at the end of the Geras tshuva that it's l'chaim, that we should experience the simcha, and we should experience a ksivach simatoiva, a shana toiva mzukah.
Amen.
L'chaim.
Chaim.
I remember many years ago that we came in the summer. We were in camp, and one of the staff member in camp, a good friend, Mendy Chadekov, he's a shliach now, and he put together these words with an old Chabad tune. And the Rebbe liked it. Grandson, wonderful shliach. So and the Rebbe liked it a lot. So see, the niggin goes like this. Ksiva v'chasim atoiva l'shana toiva u'mesukta. 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 L'chaim. There's a story brought by Rabbi Zevin, Sipurim al HaTorah, from one of the big Chassidish Rebbes, that he once made a scene by the Tish, because the Rebbetzin sent some kugel, and the kugel was nicht going azoi, and he got very broiges, and he called some of the older Chassidim that they were goinim and were tamid chachamim, and he wants to give a get to his wife. Oh man. But the Rebbe wasn't a young bochel.
Why did he give a get to his wife?
He wanted to give a get. He was angry at her. She burnt the kugel. So there became a commotion, and a few of the Elder Chassidim tried to talk to the Rebbe. No. So the kid said, finally, the Rebbe said, you know what, you're right. What's the big deal? Why am I getting so broigus? It's a big deal. She burnt the kugel. But the Rebbeinu Shalom, why is it getting so broigus at the Yidden? What's the big deal? The Chazal say that the Yidden, the Eibishter said, Hoyo kalmona, not mamish kalmona. Simple pshat is Hoyo kalmona. The Yidden nebach like an almona, that the Eibishter is far away from them. But Chazal say, what do you mean kalmona? But Chof adimyan. That like almona's chayis, just like almona, that she's not really an almona, but her husband went to Medina Sayam, very far away, and she's never chalevedik almona. That's what Chazal say, ka almona. That's what so that's what the story was with this Rebbe. So the thing is like this. There's a beautiful shaila that Rebbe once asked. It says by Ori Miklat that you send him to the Ore Mikla V'choy, and he lives. The person that Etzeach lives. So the Gemara learns from this that what does life mean? So the Rambam says Chai Balei Chochma, that for a person who's a Bal Chochma, without Chochma, his life is not a life. And the Torah says V'choy, that he's going to live. Make sure that he could live there. So one of the best would make sure that there were marketplaces. You could buy fruits, you could buy vegetables. You're sending him to a city to make sure there's water in the city, there's a marketplace in the city, there's a grocery store, air conditioning. Yeah. So one of the things they would do if he was a Talmid Chochem that it's a Talmid Shegola Maklan Rabba Imay, that they would send as a Rebbe also in Golas, because otherwise, if you can't learn Torah, what kind of life is it? So the Rebbe asked the question: a woman that nebach, a woman could be a Ritzach also, right? So if a woman was sent to Golos, what's the difference in man or woman? It works for a man, it works for a woman. would you say that his husband is chayiv to go to Golus with her? So the Rebbe says, "L'choyre it's befedish in the Gemara." The Gemara says in Gittin that the woman that goes to Golus, her husband is chayiv l'zoyna. He's chayiv to take care of her mezoinas. He has to make sure she has clothing to wear and she has food to eat. It's not, but the Gemara doesn't say that he's chayiv to live with her. The sheikh sus va'oina. From the words in the Gemara says that chayiv b'mezoinas. He's chayiv to provide her with mezoinas. It doesn't sound like he's chayiv to live there. His chayiv is, he sends a check, or he gives her a credit card, or whatever it is, and that's it. And he opens up an account in the grocery store over there in the Ori Miklot, and she could buy food and she could buy the stuff she needs. So the Rebbe said that's the post of Pshat in the Gemara. It seems that he's only chayiv with mezonos. Why? Because a person goes to Medina Sayyam. So a person that goes to Medina Sayyam is chayiv to leave his house stuck. He's not allowed to leave his house and his wife has no food. He has to make sure that he leaves, that she has food to eat. But oina, chiyuv of oina, if he had the right, it could be a person, depends what a person's living, is a person can be ma'akev. He shouldn't go on business for too long. But ultimately, a man has to go for a business trip. His wife can't hold him back. And he's not chayiv ba'oina, and this man that he's not there. So the Rebbe said a beautiful thing, a thought that so just everything nigla is reflective also in Pnimis HaTorah and Avodas Hashem also. So when Yidden go to Golus, the Eibishter is chayiv ke'alamona. The Eibishter said, "Eize sefer krisis asher shulcha imchem." That Chazal say that what do you mean? The Eibishter says, "I never gave a get to call Yisrael chas v'sholom." Elamai is like Isha Sholcha Baila the Medina Sayyam. So Isha Sholcha Baila Medina Sayyam is chayiv to mezonos. It's chayiv to have the chef clothing. But Oina is not chayiv. It's not chayiv b'Oina. If he's Medina Sayyam, he's not chayiv b'Oina. What's the idea of Oina? What's the idea of Oina? Oina is a closeness that a man has with a woman. The Gemara says a person that says that that he's gonna may have oina with his wife, but he wants to wear his begodim. He's very tznius, sanua. He wants to wear his begodim. Yoitzev yiting suba. That the woman says, no, that's not the deal. She wants to feel the kiruf to her man, and therefore he can't say that he's gonna have a chiyuv oina when he's gonna wear his begodim. He has to not wear his begodim because that's what the woman wants. So what does it mean? What does it mean over here? It means that the Yidden and the Eibishter, the Yidden want to have a kiruv, a very strong. Chazal say, there's no nebuah. What do you mean there's no nebuah? If you learn the Tanya, at the end of the Tanya, the Alter Rebbe asks that we find that Moshe Rabbeinu, it says that the Arizal said that Moshe Rabbeinu only saw until Netzach and Hoyd and Atzilus. He couldn't see higher than that. So the Alter Rebbe says, how could the Arizal say such a thing? The Arizal himself tells us things, a Chochma Atzilus, higher than Atzilus, Svidas Agnuzes, Ari Champin, Atik Yoimin. You're telling me things that Moshe Rabbeinu didn't know. So how can you tell me, you, the Arizal, are telling me that Moshe Rabbeinu, the most he could see, he could look up in Atzilus, he could see Netzach v'Hoid. But you, the Arizal, are telling us stories higher than Netzach v'Hoid. You're telling us all kinds of things that the Alter Rebbe asks. I don't understand. It's a simple thing that Moshe Rabbeinu is a Rabban Shekol Nevi'im, and we believe that in many ways the Moshe Rabbeinu's Nevuah is more significant than any other Navi. Huh? The Alter Rebbe, it's a Chof, Chof, and you get us a true Kodesh. Yeah. The Alter Rebbe answers. For Poshet, the Alter Rebbe says, Chochem Odif Minovi. The Rebbe says that Moshe Rabbeinu is a Navi. Navi means he sees something. We just like that even though we have an Ein Alev, the Rambam says that when a person understands something, he can see it as a reality. For example, a Chochem is a Royas Anoilet. So consequences for what I do today, I could see what's going to be in 20 years. But still, it's not such a thing that V'ri'iyah mamish. When a Navi saw the Eibishter, it was like similar to what a physical person sees. Emer lachoisi achoch lachochma choisi ach. He sees it. He sees it with his eyes. So similar to that, Nevu was that type of thing. Here. Time the rock.
Iceland?
Yeah, yeah. Break the ice. Melting the glaciers. L'chaim, l'chaim. So that's l'chaim, l'chaim. So that's the word of that the Yidden want the kirvas elokim li toiv. The Yidden want that special kirv with the Eibishter. So that's really lacking. And Golus, that's lacking. That's the taina the Yidden have. That even if the Yid has in Golus everything he needs, and in terms of mezoinos, in terms of parnosa, in terms of protection, even if a Yid is living a comfortable life, but it's just like a woman who is almona chaya. The ikir that she wants kiruf, and that's what the Yidden want. The Yidden want kirvus lakim. So when they're in Golus, and Chazal say there's no nevuah. What does it mean there's no nevuah? Because it's lacking that special kiruv. That special kiruv is lacking. She'erik susa ve'inasa. Oina is the kiruv, and that's lacking. That's why we're screaming. That's why we're yelling. The Rebbe's father had this word that the Rebbe made very popular. I mean, today it's a beautiful word. Ani betoicha goylo. The Yidden are in Golus. He said, what's the difference of Golus and Geula? Goyla and Geula is the same word, just you add one letter, Aleph. When you put the Aleph of Aluf Shaloilam into Goyla, you turn the Goyla into a Geula. So L'chaim, that
Except for what's the reference?
no, I'm saying the word, Ani B'Secha Goyla. The Navi says, Yecheskel, Ani B'Secha Goyla, the word Goyla. So there is Goyla and there's Geula. The Aleph, you put the Aleph into Goyla, that Geula. So L'chaim, we want there should be Geula Taka, and all the Yidden that are Shvuyim should be Nifta, because we're coming at the end of Chodesh. It's already towards the end of Chodesh Av, and Tzim B'Mishpat Kodem B'Shavah B'Tzedakah. Yeah, we're going into Mezlach Vasada, so all the Yidden want to see the smiley face, right? Okay, so Chaim L'chaim. We should turn the Goyla into a Geula. L'chaim, 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 L'brocha. Avanim Zmeir, Pois B'Shi Ermaiki Echod Nafshi Saroi Anis Miroi V'Shi Ermaiki Nafshi Saroi Nafshicha medavet zel yodecha lahadav ha'avat yasoidecha Oya nafshicha medavet zel yodecha ladas kol rosoidecha L'chaim, l'chaim. Last week, Thursday night, we were learning together. We learned through the Zoom. Even though we were doing it late at night, it was light outside. It's unbelievable.
Also had that nice.
No, it looked like the Northern Lights. Motzei Shabbos, we're talking a little bit of Northern Lights. Shabbos
background.
Huh?
Zoom adds a background.
Yeah. No, my daughter had it. Oh, it's you did it?
No.
I think my daughter did it. She did it on the computer. But the Shabbos is out.
When you saw in Montreal, you see the same thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's nine.
Shabbos is out. Shabbos was out, quarter to 12. And this was this week. I was I took from Shabbos early with the shliach early at Plaga Mincha. We did an early Shabbos at Plaga Mincha is 8:20. Plaga Mincha took an early Shabbos. We took it an early Shabbos at Plaga Mincha,
That's a long time.
and he has a problem because earlier in the summer. Uh, the sun only goes down 3 degrees under the horizon.
Shabbos ended about.
So and then it comes back up. So I think so he asked that there was a Rav that told him a very good svara. Other places in the world is different, but here it does go down. Elamai it doesn't go down at least 6. He takes out Shabbos 6, even though most of Eden, Klal Yisrael, take out Shabbos at 8.3. He takes out Shabbos at 6 degrees because the reason the Rebbe encouraged, and even though the Alter Rebbe said to do the whole cheshbon, the Alter Rebbe and Lechoide, most of the Rabbanei Chabad think it's 6 degrees under the horizon, but because most Klal Yisrael
about
6 degrees under the horizon,
That's what
What?
yeah,
What?
but is considered Ktesa Kechov, but Lepoil and not now. That's that they say. Go out when the sun is 6 degrees under the horizon. You're going to see the kavava. They say go out to any place which doesn't have light pollution, and you'll see that. But Lepoil, most Yidden do it at 8.3 because this was from Rabbi Chilmichel Tebushinsky. Most calendars do. Look at the calendars. The most popular is 8.3, but he had so Arav told him a good svara. That's what he does. That when it's Alois Shacha from Sunday, you're ready. How can you say it's Shabbos? It's Alois Shacha from Sunday. So he goes to sleep. They go to sleep. It's Shabbos. They go to sleep. It's Shabbos. Alois Shacha is about 1:30. But anyway, yeah.
So they make Abdullah the next morning,
Yes, they make a lot of dollar Sunday morning.
but there wouldn't be fire then.
Sunday morning, why should?
Well, if it's after I'm on the shofar, if it's after breakfast, after davening, that's all I know.
I hear your question. I don't know. I don't know how he does it.
Well, wow. So, but Shabbos ended about 1 o'clock.
Yeah. Right. It doesn't. The if there's a kihila in a place that are noyek to do 8.3, it's Indian if they set the Shabbos. All the Babish Kehilas wait at least to 8.3. We here, Mesa Nachman, wait much longer, but it makes no difference because it's to set for Shabbos. But at minimum, you have to do what Klal Yisrael is doing. But in a place like Iceland, there's no kviyas. So he does. Anyway, it's very nice. Yeah, he has a kehila. Yeah. No.
Wow.
He has a minion?
Yeah, beautiful minion.
A mikvah also.
Huh?
He builds a mikvah also.
He's building it now. That they use now for mikveh. There's hot springs all over. So they use hot. Yeah,
That's it's underwater.
they not they.
Underground springs.
Yeah, you don't. No one has a hot water tank in their house. They have cooling tanks because they get all the hot water. Your shower never runs out of hot water. The hot water goes from under the ground,
Wow.
and they have a tank to cool up the water, not to heat the water. So all the showers in Iceland on average are a little hotter than the rest of the world because how much could you cool the water already? There's no end. It's the dream of every Jewish family. You can have all your daughters take showers and never run out of hot water. Yes, that shit. Never, ever, ever, ever run out of hot water. The shower could run 24/7. You don't run out of hot water. There's no water bill.
No water bill.
Oh, it's an underground spring.
No water.
It's machayas.
Must be healthy. It's minerals.
Yeah, it's very healthy. And they drink the water. The water everywhere you drink. You don't have to buy water. It's a mineral. Very good water. It tastes very, very good. Exceptional.
Very healthy.
You see, throughout the geography there also, throughout the volcanoes and everything, or
Yeah. And I came. There was one volcano that was still a drop of smoke. I missed the show. There was an eruption the beginning of last week, but when I came, it was still smoke was done. So the Gemara said, huh? No, it's nicht gefährlich. In the summer, it's like 50 to 60 degrees. Yeah, it's high. The air conditioning's on. It's nothing. And in the winter, it's 30 degrees. Nicht gefährlich. Nicht
when we
gefährlich.
had 90s, you had 50.
Yeah, it's great. It's great. It's
And a lot had
yeah,
120
sweater. You don't need, huh?
a lot had 125 the other. My mom tells me that every day it's been 100, like high 90s. It's
Wow.
like the last time they had it like was like many decades
Oh,
ago.
it means very
Wow.
hot summer.
Extreme, like a heat wave, hundreds every
Yeah, the
day.
Gemara says shali kaite kosher makaite. At the end of the summer, it's harder than the summer. Even though it's not so, even if it wouldn't be so hot, people already can't take it anymore. It's like, so L'chaim, last week we learned this beautiful sichas. I want to add something that the Rebbe added to that sicha. Hershel L'chaim. So, Gemara says about Rebbe Akiva, Nadorim Dafnun, that he became rich. There's 6 nekudas in the Gemara. One of them is from Eshes Trumsrupus Haroshin. That there was, Rashi says, Oden Echad Meroimi. There was a Roman influential man, and he was an antagonist. He disliked Rebbe Akiva, and he always tried to have debates with Rebbe Akiva, and Rebbe Akiva always won every debate. So he came home one day and he told his wife said, "Why are you so upset?" He said, "As usual, Rebbe Akiva is getting on my nerves." So she said, "Smoch alai, don't worry, I'm going to make him Hashem porech v'mazak Yiddish. I'll turn him into nothing." So she went.
Oh, thank you.
Our regards.
Thank you.
So she went and she had a terrible thought of what she's going to do to embarrass Rebbe Akiva. So when she came to visit Rebbe Akiva, and she was Megala her shoik,
What?
a part of her body called shoik, like shoik and yera.
Oh, yeah.
Masloik is a poiskin. What's a shoik really? But maybe the thigh. Okay, it's a shiloh.
Something.
Yeah. So she revealed that part of her body, kilu, and Rebbe Akiva laughed and cried and then spit in the ground. So she said, "What happened?" He said 2 things I could tell you right away, but the other one is, he said, I spit on the ground because you think you're someone so beautiful, but you come from a tipas rucha, you come from a drop that's nothing. And I cried because at the end of the day, you think you're a very beautiful person, but your beauty is gonna be in the dust. And why do you laugh? So he said it's not relevant. So she begged him to know why he laughed. He said, "I laughed because why would I sleep with you, Baveda, when you're going to be Megaring, but you're going to marry me anyway?" So what happened was her husband died, and she was the guy, and she married Rebbe Akiva the way he said.
Wow.
So Chazal said Rebbe Akiva lived a very long life. Gemara says she was very rich from the money that she had from her husband, and all that money she brought into the marriage to Rebbe Akiva. So the Rebbe said after the Hadran that we learned last week, a beautiful Hadran on the Maseches Makos. The first story was that Rebbe Akiva and Rebbe Gamliel and the Bishua, that Rebbe Elazar ben Azariah, they were going to the city of Roimi, and they heard Kuf Chof Parsa, Kuf Chof Mil outside of Roimi. They heard Kol Hamoina. They heard the tumult of the city, the laughter of the city, the hustle bustle of the city. And they cried, and Rebbe Akiva laughed. So they said, "Why are you laughing?" He said, "Why are you crying?" They said, "What do you mean?" Beis Hadom Ragli Elokeinu Sorav Be'esh. and these people are living a good life. Why shouldn't we cry? So he said, that's why I laugh. These are go against the Eibishter. They're getting such a good Olam Hazeh. Those are going, those that are doing the Ratzlek, Shalach Kama Kama. And then the second story was that they saw a fox going up in Kodesh Kadoshim, and again was the same thing. And he laughed and he said, why is he laughing? Because then there's two Nevuas, Uriah, Zechariah, and now he knows that there'll be in the sky the Oidyosh was Kainam and Skainas Berachevetz Yerushalayim. So they said Nechamtonu. They never said that the double Lashon is because Rebbe Akiva. And what was the machloikis? The Akudah was that Rebbe Akiva was able to see the future. And in the second story, he didn't only see the future. He said, Tzion Sadat Tichoresh. He saw that the Churban itself was part of the Geula. So therefore, they said Nechatonu. They changed their mind. We spoke about it last week. Api halacha, but we see, huh? What happened? So the Rebbe said that this is really the character, the story of Rebbe Akiva. Rebbe Akiva was that there was there was a person who was a big Rasha from the Gedolei Raimi, and that's what happened. That all his wealth, he antagonized Rebbe Akiva all his life, and he hated Rebbe Akiva. And what happened was all this money that he made, all his lifetime, all his wealth that he's collected, and his wife went to his Megayah and brought all that money to Rebbe Akiva. So it was in the sky by him. Also, Rebbe Akiva, when he's talking about Kodesh HaKadoshim, says the Chazal say that halachic Rebbe Akiva mechaveru. And even though Stamish is Rebbe Meir, but Rebbe Meir is a Talmud of Rebbe Akiva, and therefore Kula Libe de Rebbe Akiva. Everything is according to Rebbe Akiva. So therefore, Rebbe Akiva versteht what Kodesh HaKadoshim is, because he's the Indian of Torah Shema Peh. So the Rebbe says that there's a Lakute Torah Or. So Maimon Pashas Mekates, where the Alter Rebbe brings that there was a story that the Gemara says in Daf Tzadik Vav from Nebuchadnezzar. Nebuchadnezzar was a shlepper. He was he worked he was a government worker, and his job was to write letters for the Melech. And there was a miracle that happened that the Eibishter made that the Chama should wait and stand up in the sky for Chizkiyo Melech Yehuda. He did the tshuva. The Eibishter was past, healed him. He left the sun. The Navi said that the sun is going to stay up in the sky to heal you. And then the king of Poras heard, Bavel heard. He saw that so he asked what happened. They said that there was a Melech Yehuda, there was a Novi, Shaya. So he wrote a letter. He told his people to write a letter to the king to congratulate him for this unbelievable miracle, to recognize the Eibush. So they wrote the letter, but the regular guy, Nebuchadnezzar, was the one that usually wrote the letters. And he wasn't there. When he came, he said, how did you write? So they told him the nusach of the letter. He said, no, it's very bad. First thing you have to say, Shlom alako Rabba, and then you say Shlom alako Karta the Yerushalayim, but then Shalom alako Chizkiyo Melech Yehuda. Because they wrote the letter differently, and they wrote the letter anyway. They said we already sent the letter. So he said, okay, fine, doesn't matter. I'm going to rewrite the letter. They said, well, the guy that already sent, so he went running after him. He took 4 steps. And he starts screaming that the guy should come back. He wants to rewrite the letter. And what it says, for these 3 steps, he was from Melucha, for him, his child and his grandchild. The Alter Rebbe says, Ein lecha odam is such a strong lotion. Ein lecha odam Yisrael. Ein lecha odam Yisrael that didn't do more than Nebuchadnezzar. Every Yid did much more than Nebuchadnezzar. So kol toiv olam hazeh kedai hu loy. That's the words of the Alter Rebbe. Kol the Rebbe says this is loiber etzon akach, lo etzon alakas kama v'kama. Truth is, I just want to make something clear. The Rebbe used to have a big koch in this. We say, "Vita l'cholim et halashmayim mishman ha'oretz v'revdag v'yisidish." It's a cynical song. Eden, like Kabbalah Malka. Vita l'chol kein Geld nicht da. Tal l'shamayim, nicht da v'emet zelayim. Mishman ha'oretz v'kumt ha'poretz. So, but that's a silly song. But there is the Maimah Chazal, Vita l'cholakim, Metal Shemayim, Zomikr, Mishmane Oretz, Zomishta, Beroiv Dogon, Zotalmit, Vesidush, Zo Agoda. So what's the Jewish wealth? Beruchnis, that a Yid has Beruchnis. But still, Ein Mikr Yoitzim V'dei Pshutim. When Esav came and he said to his father, I want a bracha. So why couldn't he tell him, oh, I gave Beruchnis, I gave everything to your brother. You am giving all the Gashmis. It looks like that's what happened, really. But Lepoil, if you read the pasuk, that's not what he said. He said, I can't give you a bracha. I already gave everything to your brother. So obviously, the Yidden get Metal Shemayim, Mishmane Oretz. We see that the Goyim are living a good life. So we say that Rebbe Akiva says that it's La'oibre in the Tzoyne Kach, Lo'iser Tzoyne Alachas Kama V'Kama. It's that this Rosh should die, and then all his wealth should go to Rebbe Akiva. If the Oiver Ritzoyne Kach is only in order for Oiser Ritzoyne should be Al Achas Kama V'Kama. Just as it's a Farbrengen. So we see that the Rebbe had such a koch. On the one hand, the Rebbe had a very koch that a Yid has to have Al Achas Kama V'Kama. Yid has to have Rachvos V'Gashmis. Even the Pashas, I remember the 1988 that it was said, Shnas opinion, everyone should buy houses, a bigger house, and even the Gashmias. On the other hand, I remember the Rebbe used to a lot of times Farbrengen, the Rebbe used to talk about people that are into luxury. At that time, years ago, today you're laughing about this, but wall-to-wall carpet. The Rebbe used to, it was like choizik, that a person, where's your head? Where's the person's head? That'd be us, like a person has to have luxury, a life of luxury. Wall-to-wall carpet. So, l'choyre, the same Rebbe that has a big koch, that loiser etzoino, alachas kama v'kama, that Yid has to have berachmus, an unbelievable berachmus. But then the Rebbe is going and making litzonas for people that are into wall-to-wall carpets. And which one am I supposed to have? It's a silly shaila, I'm asking. The answer is that for sure Yid has to have rachvus, but the head, where's a person's head? That the rachvus dira noah marcheves daita shalodem, kelim noah marcheves daita shalodem. The archovas adas is that the archovas adas is navodas Hashem. We spoke about this recently about Avnei Tam, to put a plate of gold, to put his hand through it, to open his mind, to verstehen the sugya and the Gemara. So that's the marchivim daita shalodem. Isha noah, dira noah, kelim noah, marchivim daita shalodem. So the alachas kama v'kama is not from a materialistic dragging me down. It's for fakir. It's the opposite. It's to pick me up. Well, that the person should have this harchovas adas and avodas Hashem, and that's the way it is. Chazal say kol hayikum asher beraglaim elam amoynav shemamida araglav shemaim b'tzadam. And a person has a certain rachmas begashmius, then he has a certain rachmas in his mind. So that's what that was the Rebbe's koch. That's what the Rebbe wanted. Rachvus.
Oh, okay.
Rachvus in the mind. So l'chaim. We see lo'iver etzoyno ikach. So it should be lo'iser etzoyno for Klal Yisrael, for every one of us. B'techeche Klal Yisrael should be al achas kama v'kama. That every Yid should have, the Eibusha should give all of us Ksivach Siman Tova, Ashana Tova Msuka, Miyoda Amleya Psucha Kedosha Varchova. L'chaim. Okay. Yeah, let's make a bracha achrona with that might. L'chaim, l'chaim, l'chaim. Baruch atah, you know, in all the chaylim boyd and the foshes rabbis and the son of Kel much prosel fit behem nefesh kol chay baruch elamim. And you want l'chaim? Yeah, sure. Listen to you. I sure. Chaim, l'chaim Herschel. Tzivach Simatova, Shana Devam Sukkah Herschel. Ja, Lamicha.
Yeah.